Welcome to today's Rink Report. It's being brought to you by Ohio Credit Union. I'm Bob McElligott along with Jody Shelley. The Blue Jackets continuing their series with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Jody, after the 5 overtimes in Game 1, what do you expect to see out of both of these teams in Game number 2?
Well, I mean, it's a blur, isn't it? Because 5 overtimes, a full hockey game. The Blue Jackets have played a lot of hockey, almost just over 6 games in under 6 days for this team. When you add up the overtimes in the Toronto Maple Leafs series and then that lengthy one in Game 1. So a lot of hockey played. I would say short shifts with Blue Jackets, simple plays, and more of an attack mindset when they get a chance. You know, there was a lot of single opportunity tries for the Blue Jackets. I know that there was a lot of time spent in their defensive zone, but more tests to Vasilevsky, I think more pressure on him. It seemed like there were small flurries, but only a few offensive zone sustained long length of period. So I would say that from the Blue Jackets. I would think the Tampa Bay Lightning want to come out and jump the Blue Jackets. There's going to be a storm to start, I think. If you can weather that and then get in the game plan and attack, I think that's what we'll see from either side.
I like what you did there with the storm reference. Very creative.
I didn't even know I did that. You know, that's just kind of a natural thing.
When you talk about short shifts, it'll be a lot easier to do if there's balance in your lineup. And that's one thing as we saw overtime number 1, 2, 3, and 4 coming in the game the other night. There was balance in that lineup for John Tortorella, wasn't there?
Yeah, there is. And you know, he knows that from the regular season. He learns a lot from his players. And you got to think what they've been through in the last 6 days. There's a lot of character there. There's a lot of fight in this team. And the mental toughness of having the high of the comeback win against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then the low of Game 4 where they just gave it away in under 4 minutes. Credit the Maple Leafs for what they did. But then to come in and lock it down in Game 5, you know, there's a lot of times you can count this team out, down and out, and, you know, you could probably do it, make a case for it in their short turnaround for Game 1. But the Blue Jackets are equal or better than Tampa in a lot of areas. And I think structure, depth, and really knowing how to play the game to a man in this system is one of their key factors. So credit the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've locked it down too. They're a much grittier team. They play a much more defensive style. But yeah, there's something to be learned and something to be said for the Blue Jackets and how they've been resilient. And I think that's a great word for this team because they really have over the past week and going into this season.
When you're in a situation now where everybody is going to be fatigued from the first game, does it set up as one of those games where maybe there's an unsung hero, you know, maybe somebody gets more ice time than they normally would get and they make the most out of it? And that can be on either side.
I think so. I mean, you look at a guy like Dean Kukin, quietly there. He just played the right side. He's a left-handed shot with Ryan Murray. Got in some tough situations, but he just did what he had to do. And Riley Nash, for me, has emerged to be a very valuable piece for this Blue Jackets organization. I wouldn't call him an unsung hero anymore. But he's got that grit to him. He's got that reliability to him now that's developed with John Tortorella. Is David Savard unsung? Because I feel like he's a guy that made a great move last night in overtime. It was outside, inside. He went for the short side on Vasilevsky, where last year, the last time he scored a goal, actually, he went far side on Vasilevsky. So, you know what? David, to me, is unsung. I think he had 10 blocks, 7 shots on net. I mean, he was all around it. So you have to have it. We know that. You've been in professional hockey for long enough and baseball to know that when you get in these situations, the keys will be keyed on for each organization. It's the other guys that need to pull through and take advantage and give the team a boost.
Can you imagine it's been like 15 months since David Savard scored a goal? Normally, if you have a player that plays every day in the National Hockey League and they go that long without scoring a goal, people are finger pointing. No one would ever point a finger at David Savard. It is not his job, man. He does his job every night.
Isn't that true? I mean, you know, you hear of players or people having roles or positions in life and their job, you know. And David, this guy, if you're working in business and you're not sure that, you know, if you need to stick within your role or what stay in your lane means, just watch David Savard for about 10 minutes because he knows his job. He does it extremely well, and it's a huge addition to the team when he just stays in his lane and does what he does so well. Frustrates the opposition, but it's awesome because you hear that reference a lot. You know what? Worry about yourself. Do what you do and do it best. David Savard, check the box on that. He's phenomenal. at that right-handed shot, lock down, shut it down, take up space, help your goalie defenseman.
Yeah, not that he'll ever need another job, but if he did, he could find one quickly.
Yeah, especially if he knows what he is. That's the key about David right now. He knows his role. But, if he doesn't know his role, he might be trying to do something he's not sure of in another part of life.
Yanni Gourde was a guy that was he was pretty much a thorn in the side of the Blue Jackets, or he was trying to be. He was buzzing around the goalie. He hit Korpisalo a couple of times. Obviously he's played against the Blue Jackets before, but in that first game, it was the first time that I said to myself, what is this guy up to? What is this guy doing? How much of that has to do with the wingers that they've given him now with Barclay Goodrow and Blake Coleman, the fact that that's a true grit line?
I really felt that Yanni Gourde is a noticeable player every shift. I know he had a tough year offensively. He's a guy that usually produces more in the regular season. But, yeah, I think he knows his role at center now with those guys. I think he was on the wing last year a little bit. And, now that he's got Goodrow, who's a good skater, and an effective player in Coleman, who's a great skater, maybe he understands his identity on that line. He's still a kind of a newer player in the sense of how he plays the game. It's a valuable role. I thought there was a few players out there last night. Patrick Maroon, he's a big guy that it looked like he was just doing the whole, I'm going to hold on to the puck against one of the top 4D when he was out there against them. And he would just stand in the corner and they would try to move him. There's a strategy to that. And that's an important part for that fourth line too, is Maroon, that size. He's got good hands. He doesn't always make the perfect play. He'll try things. And the Blue Jackets have just got to kind of back off him a little bit. No need to waste energy on Maroon. Wait till he turns that puck around and then take it from him. But, they have some interesting pieces that open up guys like Gourde and that to free them up to do a little more.
Yeah, in Maroon, I really got that sense in overtime when he came out there. He was going to hold on to the puck. He knew what his job was. You talk about doing your job, right? It's, hey, give Kucherov time to catch his breath. And in that line, just buy time. Whatever it takes to buy time, use your size. Even if he only moved the puck 6 feet on the wall, that was his job at that point.
Yeah. Well, and that's in a 7-game series, Bob, that's an effective thing to do. Offensive zone time is pressure on the goalie, who's got to track the puck. The defenders, and I think he was out there against Jones a couple times, and Jones is leaning in and trying to battle him. And you're right. The guys are on the bench watching the fourth line. They're trying to feed off their energy, and also they're catching a break. So, and then setting up the next matchup. So there was a couple times where the fourth line for the Lightning got stuck with an icing opportunity, which I looked at, a tired group, fourth line players, and they put out Dubois one time, they put out Foligno one time. Those are opportunities in overtime that you have to take advantage of. And the Lightning got away with it a few times, but look for the Blue Jackets to maybe take a little more advantage of those guys if they can. They do a good job for the Lightning. The Blue Jackets do a good job of matching, but I'm not satisfied with the grade A opportunities they had on Vasilevsky last night.
By the way, I just got to tell you, I love that jersey behind you. What was that, the Blue Jackets logo when that game started the other night?
Yeah.
Is that authentic?
Lucas Sedlak. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Is it autographed?
Yeah. No, it's not. That's the original. I like your logo behind you. This is we had to get the dust off that one.
All right, Jody, thank you very much. I appreciate it. This second game starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Blue Jackets and the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Jody's got it on Fox Sports Ohio. I've got it on the Blue Jackets Radio Network. That's going to do it for today's Rink Report. It's being brought to you by Ohio Credit Union. For Jody Shelley, I'm Bob McElligott. Enjoy the game.